So whenever you see the word height, that height is always connected to your 90-degree angle. So that means that it would be either this leg or this leg. But the height is the distance from the bottom to the top. So that would be here. So the 3.5 should go here. And then we know that the incline, that's the angle from with the ground. Well, that would be right here. And if you're trying to find the length of the ramp, that's your hypotenuse. All right, so what ratio am I going to use to find x? Is that a sine, a cosine, or a tangent? Sine. Because 3.5 is opposite, and x is your hypotenuse. So set up your ratio. Sine of 18 equals opposite over hypotenuse. Go ahead and cross multiply, solve that. So you have x times the sine of 18 degrees equals 3.5. X equals 3.5 divided by the sine of 18 degrees. This is not writing well. So go ahead, type that in your calculator, and what did you get for your answer? We'll round it out to the 10th place. Who got 11.3? So I'm going to pause here so you can ask questions if you have any questions about it. The length of the ramp is 11.3 feet. So that's just a synopsis of what we did before break. We just did right triangle trig. So what if it's not a right triangle, then what? So there's two different ways that we can solve a triangle if it doesn't have a 90 degrees. One is a law of sines, and the second one is law of cosine. So we're going to start off with law of sines today. Okay. So here is for the law of sines. So this is homework 15 that is due on April 7th. It's page 542. And that's due on Thursday. It's also on Canvas. So the law of sines simply says, so for the law of sines, this is the law of sines. So go ahead and copy that down. And I'll give you a second to copy down example 1, and then we'll work through it together. So in order to do law of sines, you have to know a pair. So you have to know at least one pair, meaning you need to know an angle and the opposite side. So you need to have one angle and one opposite side in order to do the law of sines. Okay, so let's go ahead and start by drawing out our triangle, our SRT. So let's draw our triangle, SRT, and fill in the pieces of information that they gave us. So the first thing they said is that the measure of angle S is 51. So that would go there. And then they told us the measurement of angle R is 63. And then they told us little r is 13. So little r is opposite of angle R. So if this is big R, little r would be in between S and T, so that would be 13. So we have our pair. See, I have an angle and a side. And because I have an angle and a side, I can do law of sines. So in order to solve the triangle, I need to find everything that I'm missing. So the first thing I'm missing is the measurement of angle T. So we need to figure that out. And then I need to know little t, and I need to know little s. So the easiest to find is T, big T. So how would I find big T? What do the angles inside of a triangle always add up to? 180 degrees. So to find the measure of angle T, that is going to be 180 minus 63 minus 51. So go ahead and type that in your calculator. And that would be the measurement of angle T. So if you type that in your calculator, you should get 66. Who got 66? Okay. So we know that. So now let's find the little s or little t. I always do alphabetical order. I don't know why. So I'm going to find little s first, which would be this side. Be careful because s's can look like 5s. I don't really like to use that letter. But that's a s. I know, it still looks like 5. I know. But anyway, that's an S. Okay, so in order to find little s, I'm going to set up the ratio that I know. So this is what I know. And I'm going to set it up. Sine of R, so sine of 63 over 13 equals, and if I'm trying to find little s, then I need the angle for big S. So that would be the sine of 51 over little s. So let's go ahead and cross multiply. So let's multiply these two together. So that would be s times the sine of 63 degrees equals, and then we go the opposite direction, 13 times the sine of 51. So we are going to divide both sides by the sine of 63. And when you type that in your calculator, you have that side S equals 13 sine 51 divided by the sine of 63. So type that in your calculators. So take 13 sine 51, and we'll do everything to the thousandths place because that's what it says on your test. So just 3 digits after the decimal. Make sure it's in degree mode. If not, you'll get something wonky. But if you type it in correctly, you should get 11.339. So if you're not getting that, raise your hand and I'll try to figure out what's going on in your calculator. That's it. Any questions about it? So let's find little t. So to find little t, we're going to set up our ratio. Still going to use, I'm going to stick with what I know, even though I have another pair now that I could use. I could use capital S and little s, but I'm going to stick with what I was given. So I'm going to use the sine of 63 over 13. Set that equal to the sine of capital T, which is, what is capital T? 66 over little t. So go ahead and set up your ratio, your proportion, just like you did in the last one. Cross multiply and solve it for side t. So if you did that correctly, you should get 13.329. Oh, okay. So what came after the 8?
8?
It was 3288.
Yeah.
So you would round it up to a 9.
Okay.
Yeah, so 5 or more, raise the score. 4 or less, let it rest. That's what I always say in my little night class. All right, let's see if you can do one by yourself. Go ahead and copy down example 2. And see if you can solve this triangle by yourself. So our last question of the day. So they didn't give us a pair, but you can easily find angle C, because in order to do the law of sines, you have to know an angle and a side pair. So you have to know either angle A in little a, angle B in little b, or angle C in little c. So in order to do this, the first thing you need to know is side C, or angle C, sorry. You need to find angle C, which you can find easily using triangle sum. So angle C is going to be 180 minus 35 minus 15. So that's your first step, is to find angle C. And after you find angle C, you can easily find little a and little b. So what did you get for C? What's 180 minus 35 minus 15? 130. So now you can set up your proportions. So I'm just going to set it up. For your first one, you would have the sine of 130. Oh, I can write a little bit bigger. Hold on. So you're going to have the sine of 130 over 5. And then to find A, you would need the sine of angle A, which is 35, over A. Go ahead and solve that. Something is not writing. This is not wanting to write on the screen today. So I'm going to try to clean it after this example because it's not writing. Okay, so we got 5 times the sine of 15. So go ahead and type. If you type those in, that's going to give you little a and little b. So for little a, you should have 3.744. And for side B, you should have 1.689. And of course, we figured out little or angle C at the beginning. And that's it. So tomorrow we will pick up where we ended off here with law of sines.